to the very first episode of Success University, hosted by yours truly, the most famous woman in the world. And these podcasts I'm going to have to make very short. Actually, not have to make, but I want to make them 5 minutes or so, just to start out with. If I want to, maybe make them really long in the style of Joe Rogan later on, maybe I'll do that. But for now, these are going to be just short little snippets of things that are on my mind, pieces of advice, maybe some stories from some of the women I mentor in business, or anecdotes, just little things that crop up into my mind in the middle of my day. And I always think to myself, that would be such a good podcast episode. So instead of just thinking how great of a podcast episode it would be, I'm going to make these short little snippets for you guys. And I really hope that they help you on your journey. So this first episode is just going to be about something that really irks me. And I've never really heard anyone talk too much about it. And that's just this weird dichotomy of pieces of advice that I hear people giving women specifically. And I actually, you know what? I feel like maybe, men sometimes get this advice too. So I can't really say that. But okay, so it's just one of the most hypocritical pieces of advice I hear people giving. And I hope that if someone tells you this, please take it with a grain of salt and really look deeper into what exactly they're telling you. So what am I talking about? So I'm talking about when someone tells you, basically bros before hoes. Okay. Or, oh, don't worry about him. Just focus on yourself. Or, telling women of all ages that relationships aren't important. You're spending too much time thinking about your relationship. You need to focus on yourself. Just be single. Just have fun with the single life. Guys aren't important. Why are you worried about, moving things forward into anything beyond being casual? Just promoting the hookup culture, promoting promoting the idea that your career is the pinnacle of your life. There's nothing more important than your career. There's not ever going to be anything more important than your career. And that if you spend one iota of your energy on a man in your life, that, what, girl, you're going in the wrong direction. Oh, you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Okay, look, I understand that it's not healthy to invest time into individuals who are not investing time in you. And of course, you don't want to be neglecting your responsibilities as an adult, and you don't want to be focusing so much on someone else in a relationship that you shirk your career duties and you never achieve your professional goals. Okay. That's an extreme version, right? Okay. That's not what I'm advocating. But here comes the hypocritical part, is that we always hear people telling women this advice, and men too, that, bros before hoes. Why do you care about her? Da, 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 da. Like, just being so negative about budding relationships or trying or allocating any time at all to your personal life or placing any importance on your personal life. But then here comes when you finally do have a family, when you finally do, let's say, get married or start a serious relationship and, babies come about and families come about, then all of a sudden Family is the most number one important thing in your life. There's nothing more important than your family. Place all of your, so how is it that you can't get married and have kids and have a stable family if you don't place any importance on the dating phase of that relationship? How can you get married and have a husband if you don't have a boyfriend first? So on one side, it's don't care at all about your relationship, only place importance on your career, nothing else. But then on the flip side, family should be the number one most important thing in your life. So how is that? So I just want to say this. It is completely and totally normal, natural, and healthy to place a certain healthy amount of significance on your dating life. For us to all continue to run around and pretend like we're robots and we're just the only thing that the only thing that's important is our economical value and nothing else. For us to continue that line of thinking is just not healthy. It's not realistic. And I don't think there's a woman on the face of the planet that doesn't naturally feel inclined to place a certain amount of energy into her personal life. Having a personal life is normal, and having a personal life is important. If you're not getting, if you don't have a healthy personal life, especially for women, there's no possible way you're going to have a healthy professional life. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be getting biologically, you're not going to be getting any oxytocin, which is the feel-good hormone that's released when, you are intimate with someone. Even a hug can release oxytocin. So, honestly, I've gone years without even being hugged. And I'll tell you that I flip into a depression when that happens. And the depression does not help me be the best I can be in my professional endeavors. So, people out there, please stop giving people advice about who cares about relationships. They're all a dime a dozen, all that stuff. It's silly, it's unrealistic, it's immature and unwise. So please out there, place a normal, healthy, allocated amount of your time and energy on developing healthy, mature relationships. Develop not only your professional life and your career trajectory, but cultivate friendships, cultivate romantic relationships, and place a healthy balance in your life. Trust me, it's better that way. All right, episode 1 down. Bye.
The information provided in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice, investment advice, or medical advice. The host is not a financial advisor nor a medical doctor or licensed therapist. Any financial or medical decisions made based on the information in this podcast are made at the listener's own risk. It is recommended that listeners consult with licensed professionals such as CPAs, financial advisors, and licensed physicians before making any investment or medical decisions. The host and creators of this podcast accept no responsibility or liability for any loss or damages incurred as a result of the information provided in this podcast.